Welcome everybody. Let's talk about the stock market. Going to look at the weekly, the daily, and the trade of the day. We'll start with the weekly chart here. These are S&P 500 futures. Okay, which I like this product a little better for watching the S&P 500 better than the SPX or the SPY. Just seems to be a little bit more consistent, the continuous contract, which is /ES. For my members who are trading futures, just be aware the futures contract expires, I think, in the middle of December. So coming up here in about, a month? Just be aware of that. I believe after that is the March contract. So, once you get within a week or two from that expiration, I like to just manually switch over. Even if the broker hasn't switched over, I just switch over to the March contracts and be done with it. Okay, so taking a look at this, obviously pretty big week going on here, a range of 117. That's this candlestick right there. Let me just make this bigger. Let's do it big, big, big. Okay. Nice big juicy candlestick. Very nice. 45.44. Yeah, I think it's doable. Weekly looks like it's still, things moving in a positive direction. Okay, for my members, I'll talk about this universe indicator just to the members, either on the Discord server, possibly in the nightly email as well. Okay, I'm not going to talk about this to the public because the members, this is a members only kind of indicator. So I won't discuss this too much during these videos. All right, so pretty big week, not totally unexpected. I talked about this, that momentum looked pretty strong. I said there was some data that looked like indicating things would pull back, but momentum was so strong that I thought it was going to dominate, and it has dominated. Okay. Let's see, this cycle low right here. I think I have it on here, but it's just not showing at the moment. November 26th, which probably hard to say right now. It's only about a week and a half away. Okay, right, let's see. This is the 13th, 20th. Yeah, maybe 2 weeks away. Could stall up into here by then. Not sure we're going to get any kind of big pullback into this cycle. Though. Probably not going to happen. Now, this way out here, I think it's January. Yeah, January 14th. That's a different story. Might start seeing some weakness out here in January or even way out over here. Next one's in March, end of March. And we'll update these cycles once this runs out of gas and we get a clear picture about how it's starting to pull back, which is obviously not yet. Okay, right now, still looking very bullish. Okay, let's look at the daily. Yeah. This cycle's kind of in a way, but not a big deal. Just roll this over here. Okay, I guess we'll deal with that. That's fine. Okay, so here on the daily chart, today was a huge day. This day right here was 104. I said to my members last night, as I just got done talking about it on the, kind of touched it a little bit on the weekly chart, but here on the daily chart, which by the way, this goes out to the members every night in email. I told them last night in email, I said, data is showing a pullback, but momentum is saying 4,500s. So you always got to pay attention to momentum, okay? And even though a lot of data is saying this is going to chance for a pullback, I said, and I even said it in yesterday's video, I said, probably going to stall here a little bit and then take off. Well, there you go. It did exactly that. Okay, a little stall right there and took off. Bounced real hard, which is great. 45.66, do I think it can happen? Look at the weekly chart. Yeah. And combined with where we're at on the momentum here, momentum is only at 36 on the MACD. So, the momentum came from pretty far down, way down here. So it could run out of gas, maybe not quite as high as we see in some other time frames, or other times, like way back here is 74. It's possible it may not get quite that high before it runs out of gas and starts pulling back. But for right now, we're only at 36 right here. I think there's plenty of room to go. I think there's still room in this. The SMI is pretty high, but the SMI by itself, you know, we never look at these indicators just by themselves and make decisions, right? Right now, momentum is strong. Okay, and again, members, just be aware. I'll talk about this indicator, what's going on with this indicator, what I believe is happening here. In either the Discord, I talked about this a little bit in the Discord server. I actually put this in the solar channel. Okay, maybe a strange place, but that's what this is all about. So go check it out in the solar channel. And I just gave, well, one sentence comment about what I think is happening right here, because it's a very interesting phenomenon that happens from time to time. Okay, so, and I'll mention briefly what's happening here in the tonight's email to the members as well. But for now, for the general public, yep, I think there's still more in this. I think 4566 is very possible. Obviously, that's being drawn right up here as the, you know, the resistance at the top of this candlestick way back here in September. Excuse me. And then above that, we have 4631. And as strong as this market is right now, you know, this probably is going to happen, you know, pretty high degree of certainty. And don't count this out either. We'll just see how long this runs so it runs out of gas. Right now, obviously a lot of money flowing into the market. This has been a monster, absolutely monster run. Now this was November, this little cycle low right here, November 15th, which is, well, is tomorrow. This is already trading tomorrow right here. Obviously we're not going to see any kind of dip right there. You can see that right here on November 13th, that was basically the cycle low. It just stalled right here and then took off. And this is one of the things I think people don't understand about cycle analysis, that they all, you know, when markets are bearish or you have bearish trends, cycle lows are really obvious. They're super obvious, like obviously right here and right here, right? And you've got, let's see, even this one was kind of obvious right here. So in bearish conditions, you know, this one's a little off, but not by much. Cycle lows are really obvious, but when it's very bullish, a lot of people don't understand cycles. They just discount them and say they're not working, but that's not the truth. What you have to understand during bullish, very bullish conditions in the market is what you're normally going to see is the market will stall at the cycle low. And it did. Look at this. It just stalled right in this area. Right now, there was some resistance here as well that helped this kind of stall. But basically, this little area right here was about a day or two early for this cycle low. It just stalled right up into this and then took off again. Right? That's actually, whenever you see that, that's a sign of obviously a very strong market, right? So I've seen this over and over and over again, like for years. I've been doing this cycle analysis. And when I see something this strong and bullish, I know we're going to get a price stall where normally we'd see a price decline. So I don't sweat it. I either, what I normally do is I either don't trade for those few days at all, or I just keep my positions really small, let the market do a slow turn. Usually it's chop, a day or two of kind of chopping, then it takes off again, just exactly what we saw right here. All right, so 45.66, I do believe that's probably going to happen. And then we'll wait to see what happens when it gets up into this area, 46.31. I honestly believe, based on what I'm seeing here, as well as the weekly, could get there. Now, one other thing I want to talk about is the middle of this cycle right here and this one right here. And even this one. Okay. Let's just look at these dates. This one is November 24th, November 28th, and December 1st. So basically the third, fourth week of November and the very, first week of December. Okay. So that's coming up. I could see price stalling up in this area. So that would be one of the, because that's very common in the middle of cycles. And you got 3 cycles right here. They're only about 2 weeks apart. So it would not surprise me to see the market get up here and kind of stall. You know, it could get above it first. Hard to say exactly where, but I can see it stalling up in this area somewhere as we approach the 3rd and 4th week of November and the 1st week of December. I can see the market kind of stalling. Then we'll just have to reevaluate. Is it going to take off again? Because it could. Usually a stall might do a little dip and then one more huge launch. Okay. And then it might come down like that. So going as strong as this market is right now, once we get past kind of this middle part of these cycles, man, I tell you what, it's not unheard of. It's kind of off the chart because it's been a while, but I don't want to start talking about all-time highs just right now because that's still a ways away. But, you know, somewhere out over in this area, as we approach kind of January, we're going to keep an eye on the market because strange things happen in December. All right, so we'll see as we get into December what's going to happen over in this area. Is the market going to be really strong? Is it going to kind of peter out? Because this market has been absolutely romping it. And I think we will get a stall, dip, and then we might get one last good hard bounce December, January, something like this. Okay, maybe it's over here and then it dips. But we'll look at these cycles when that time comes. But it's not out of the question for the market to even get above this 46.31, I think, like December or January. Okay, of course, we'll reevaluate that. But that's kind of long-term, you know, long-term, I kind of keep my eye on what I think might happen. Short-term, because of the middle of these cycles coming up right here, I think the price will get up in here and probably stall a little bit somewhere. We'll just see how aggressive the market is. Okay, but I wouldn't be trading short right now, that's for sure. All right. Let's take a look at the trade of the day. All right, so here we are on the 5-minute chart. This little piece over here is already tomorrow trading, futures trading the nighttime session, so ignore that. But basically running from about right there to there is the entire 24-hour or 23-hour period for futures, because futures close for an hour, okay? So obviously we had a really big buyer come in here. Remember, we're looking at the 5-minute chart, so I just want to kind of zero in on this, somebody decided to go ballistic because they knew the market was going to take off. And I think it was 75,000 shares. Yeah, 75,000 shares right here. Okay, 75,000 futures. May not have been all one buyer, but obviously somebody decided to put down some serious cash hole and take a huge position. I didn't look at the book and see what was going on there. But it doesn't really matter. This all happened within 5 minutes, this one candlestick. 75,000 contracts, futures contracts. Obviously, options came into play here, and it had a lot to do with this as well, affecting the market. But this was all at 7:30 in the morning, so this was a good hour pre-market, before an hour before market opened up. Okay. Obviously the trade of the day, but pretty hard to catch the trade when the signal comes in exactly when someone decides to make a huge trade. But as it turned out, a lot of buyers came in right after it, right? Just kept going, right? It went up for another, 40 points. So after this 5-minute candlestick, there was still 40 points of profit here. I mean, obviously the MACD went ballistic. Everything was going ballistic. Right? So it'll still turn out to be a pretty good trade of the day. It looks like it's small, but look at this little trade over here, which happened at 1:30, 1:20 in the afternoon. But that trade right there was worth more than 10 points. Okay, because from the time this signal came in to there, that's about 18 or 19 points right there. So you picked up at least 15 points here, maybe 16 points just trading in the afternoon. That's how hot the market was today, just absolutely smoking. So even if you didn't get this and you were out on a vacation in the Bahamas, boating around, you decided to trade late in the afternoon, you still could have made money over here. So 2 great trades of the day right there. Okay, and even though you missed this one big huge candlestick, which everybody missed it, obviously, okay, you still got all this trading going here, 20, 40 points of the trading. There was no reason not to make money today, right? You could literally take a position and go eat a bologna sandwich, right? Put your feet up for an hour and come back and you just have a whole bunch of money sitting in the bank in your brokerage account. Now, I'm not saying you should go do that, obviously, but I'm being sarcastic here, a little funny, but yeah, today was just like sit back and make a lot of money day. All right, if you like what you saw in this video, the Get Us Plus indicator on the trade of the day, the universe indicator, which I didn't talk about it that much, but the members get my opinion about that every night. They're going to get it tonight in an email. They're going to get it on the Discord server. Okay, if you like also the cycle analysis I do. Okay, the members get streaming charts down here in the Discord server. The members get streaming charts. They get the 5-minute, the 15-minute, and the 1-hour chart. And on the 1-hour chart, there's cycles on there. Same thing you see in the daily, those big cycles. Well, that 1-hour chart, I draw the cycles on there because the cycles have been pretty reliable. I had more than one member this morning say that the cycles were spot on the hourly chart and absolutely nailed the low of the day, or pretty much the low before that huge buy, right? Before that big spike in the market. It was right on the button. So if you want to take advantage of that, become a member. The link is in the description just below this video. Just make sure you read that description very carefully so you don't have any problems joining. And then it's going to bring you over to the server, get a server, click on server shop. You're going to see this page right here. Okay, $7.99, guys and gals. That is crazy cheap. Crazy. Yeah, you get the Get Us Plus indicator on the streaming charts for the S&P 500. And when the Get Us Plus indicator does indicate a possible trade, guess what? That gets sent as an alert to this channel right here. So you just right click on this channel, you set up notifications on there, and then your Discord app will notify you. On most people are probably using mobile phones, some people using laptops, some people using their Macs, whatever, some people using a PC, whatever you're using, you'll get notified, okay? So these two work together. The streaming charts work together with the S&P 500 alerts. Really, really nice. Okay, so if you're not watching the streaming charts because you're busy taking the kids to school or whatever you're doing, soccer practice, you're at work, whatever's going on, okay, wherever you're at in the world, eating dinner, out with the wife or the girlfriend, you can still get alerted, okay? And then we also get alerts for gold and crude oil and top 30 stocks, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ going to here, okay? Now, there's only streaming charts for the S&P 500. I had some members ask me, do I stream charts for this? No, there's no streaming charts for these, but you do get alerts for them. So you can go check your own charts, okay, on your own brokerage, right? Your own broker is going to give you charts, okay, unless you don't have futures. But if you're looking at gold and crude oil, which these are futures, okay, and you plan on making a trade on them, well, you're going to need a futures account, right? Unless you try to do some type of stock that's gold or whatever and options on that. But it's just not going to be as reliable. Okay, ETFs and all that, maybe you could do a little something on that. But if you're going to trade, if you're going to use these alerts, you really should be trading futures because that's where the big money is. Okay, and maybe in the future, no pun intended, but sometime in the future, I may stream these two products as well. We'll see. I have to do some testing to see if it's worth it. There's a lot of resources to do all the streaming. Trust me, you got to have a lot of things set up. So if I do that, it's going to be a serious value added for the members, which I'm sure the members will appreciate it. But we'll talk about that later. I'll do some tests and see if streaming these is possible. Okay. So that's all the streaming they get in the alerts. Okay. End of each day premium symbols. So the Get Us Plus indicator goes out at the end of each day and also gets symbols for futures, for stocks that have options, for any symbols that look like they might be ready to be shorted, right? They're getting kind of set up for a short. They'll be in there as well. And then industries. So there's 4 different files that can be in this channel. Now, some days it might be 2 or 3 files, just depends on what the algorithm picks up. Some days it might be all 4. Okay, I use this quite a bit to trade my futures and sometimes to trade options. Okay, currency. This is going to be if I going to be trading maybe. I think there's a good trade on, let's say, the British pound. I'll put something in there. Or the euro dollar. Okay, so occasionally I'll trade currency. If you want to get the nightly email, I talked about that earlier in the video. Put your email address in this emails only channel, okay, when you become a member. Or if you're already a member, you want to get the nightly email. You get the S&P 500 chart attached to the email, and I give my opinion about what I think the market's going to be doing, okay? Just like I did last night. Like I mentioned earlier in this video, that I said to the members last night, I think the market's going to bounce. It's going to, just like a day or two ago, I said I think the market's going to stall, then it's going to bounce hard because momentum looks very strong right now. And sure enough, it did. We got this huge bounce today. So if you want that kind of information, in my opinion, put your email in there and you'll get the nightly email, okay? Fixed income, this would be occasionally I trade corporate bonds, okay? Or maybe even CDs for like... occasionally I will look at, especially now with inflation being so high, I'll check out what the bank rates are and I might put some CDs in there. But usually this is like corporate bonds. I'm looking for the best deals on corporate bonds and I'll buy some corporate bonds for fixed income and generate some nice interest. Okay, I tend to buy them and hold them. Okay, and wait till maturity. And then I try to grab bonds that I think have 2 things going for them. 1, a potential for a good capital gain, and 2, decent interest. So it's a double win, a win-win scenario. That's usually what I'm going for when I deal with corporate bonds. So that can be very helpful when you're trying to bolster your brokerage account. It's not just about trading stocks or options. You know, you want to parlay that money into fixed income, let that just churn interest for you, especially if it's in a 401k or an IRA. That's the way you really want to do it, because you don't get taxed on it. Okay. A little bit of, I don't want to say advice because I can't give that, but a little opinion about what I think would be really smart is getting some fixed income in your 401k or your IRA. Really smart way to go, in my humble opinion. And then these two channels right here are obviously just regular member chat. And then a lot of people, the members talk up in here about specifically to the S&P 500, my chat in there, okay? So all those channels, all of these, including streaming charts and everything else I mentioned, this is all what comes with the members for the member channel. These are all member channels, only $7.99. Okay, the only one that's not a member channel that everybody can access is general. There's nothing in there. Okay, you're not going to get any access to any of the member services in that channel. You can just kind of say hello, and that's it. If you're a member and you want to leave a comment about something, you know, support, customer support, whatever, don't do it in the general channel. Do it in the member chat channel, okay? All right. Okay, so like I said, if you want to become a member, read the description below this video. Click on the link. It's going to bring you to the Get a Server. You click on Server Shop. Brings you over to this right here. There it is, $7.99. Super good deal. All right, happy trading, everybody. God bless everybody. Talk to you all real soon again next time.